皆さんおはようございます。This is the Easy Japanese News article for November 10th, 2025, 2025年11月10日の今日の記事でございます。So here we break down easy Japanese news articles as a way of studying Japanese. So our title today, we have 市長を選ぶ選挙で票の数が同じになった。くじで決めた。So, 市長を選ぶ選挙で This is a nice break point we can make here. So, 選挙 is our noun. 選挙 is elections. So, in our elections, and what kind of elections are they? They are elections for 市長を選ぶ. So, our elections for selecting 選ぶ or choosing the 市長, the mayor. So, in an election for selecting the mayor, 票の数が同じになった. So, 票 is votes, and 数 is amount or number. So, the number of votes is our subject with the particle が. So, the number of votes が同じになった. This is なる to become in the past tense. So, 同じになった. Became the same or ended up being the same. なる can also be like whenever something changes into a certain way or achieves a certain thing. So the number of votes became or was the exact same number, 同じ. So in the election for selecting the mayor, the number of votes was exactly the same. くじで決めた. So we have くじで, our particle で here is saying by means of. So くじで決めた was selected or determined by lottery. Kuji can be lottery, lot. Pretty much anytime you're selecting randomly, even something like drawing straws, that could be counted as kuji. I tried to look up exactly how it is performed because this is actually a law in Japan. When there is exactly the same number of people, it's determined that you will use random means. I'm not sure if that's drawing straws or what, or a random number generator, something like that. But basically, kuji just means it's selected randomly. So, number of votes were exactly the same in an election for selecting the mayor, and the results were determined randomly, by random means. Okay, here is our vocabulary list from the article. We have 市長 is a mayor. 選ぶ to select or to choose. 選挙 is an election. 票 is vote. Now this can be used as a counter as well as a noun. So you can say 票 like a vote, or you can count them by putting a number in front of it by 1票, 2票, 3票. So just note that can be a noun as well as a counter. Then we have 数 is a number or an amount. And we have くじ is a lot. You draw lottery or a raffle, pretty much anything where you determine something randomly. We call that くじ. So outside of like the train stations, you'll see these lottery stations where you can buy lottery tickets. Those are called 宝くじ, treasure くじ. So those are also くじ. And then we have 自分, which is oneself. You can also refer to other people about their own things. You can use 自分 or 自分の. Then we have 法律 is a law. 結果 is result. 負ける is to lose. 数え直す is to recount. So we have the verb 数える to count something. And then we put that in the ます stem and add 直す to it to be do that again. So this is a common thing with certain verbs. You'll see this a lot where you add 直す to the end of it to mean to do that thing again. 直す by itself means to like fix it. So you can kind of think of like by doing it again, you're fixing it. So here 数える to count, 数え直す to count again. So that's the last one on this list. You can use naosu with other verbs to mean if you didn't do it correctly the first time, you can add that now also to mean redo it or do it again.
選挙のニュースです。昨日、茨城県神栖市で市長を選ぶ選挙がありました。今の市長と新しい人の2人が選挙に出ました。選挙では自分が選んだ人の名前を紙に書きます。この紙1枚が1票です。神栖市の選挙では2人とも16,724票でした。票の数が同じになった場合はくじを引きます。これは法律で決まっています。くじの結果、新しく選挙に出た人に決まりました。選挙に負けた今の市長は、票を数え直してほしいと言っています。
Okay, let's jump right into our article.
選挙のニュースです。
Okay, so 選挙のニュースです。So very simple. We have 選挙, which is the elections, and news, which is news. So this is news about elections. 選挙のニュースです。
昨日、茨城県神栖市で市長を選ぶ選挙がありました。
Okay, so we have 9日 or 昨日. She said 昨日. Here we have 9日. So on the 9th or yesterday, 茨城県神栖市で. So 茨城県, 茨城 prefecture, 神栖市で. She is city. So 神栖 city. で in 茨城 prefecture, 神栖 city. 市長を選ぶ選挙. So just like in our headline here, we have 選挙 election, and our elections for 市長を選ぶ. So 市長を選ぶ選挙 elections for selecting the mayor がありました. So がある in the past tense, so existed or they had. So yesterday on the 9th, they had elections for selecting the mayor in Ibaraki Prefecture, Kamisu City.
今の市長と新しい人の2人が選挙に出ました。
So 今の市長と新しい人. So 今の市長 would be the current mayor. 今の市長. 今 being now, currently. 今の市長と新しい人. A new 新しい person 人の2人. So 2人 being two people が選挙に出ました. So the current mayor and the new person の2人. So that's the two people. The two people, the current mayor and the new person が選挙に出る. So 出る for something to come out or to show up. In this case, 出る be like participated in. So there were two people who participated in this election. The current mayor and the new person.
選挙では自分が選んだ人の名前を紙に書きます。この紙1枚が1票です。
Okay, so 選挙では in elections, 選挙では自分が選んだ人の名前. So we have our noun here, 名前, which is name, and then 人, person. So 人の名前 would be a person's name. 自分が選んだ人の名前. So 自分, you are yourself, and then 選ぶ in the past tense here is selected, 選んだ. So the person that you or yourself has selected, their name. So 自分が選んだ人 would be the person you've selected. And 自分が選んだ人の名前 would be the name of the person who you've selected. を紙に書きます。So, 紙 paper に telling us where we are doing our verb. So on a paper. And then 書く the verb to write. So in elections, you write the name of the person that you have selected on paper. この紙1枚が1票です。So here we have 票 as our counter, which is one vote. And then 紙. So この紙 would be this paper. 1枚, this single paper. So a paper is a flat object, so we count with 枚 here. So this one single paper is one vote. この紙1枚が1票です。
神栖市の選挙では2人とも16,724票でした。
Okay, so 神栖市の選挙では、so 神栖市 the city of Kamisu の選挙 the elections of Kamisu city では in those elections 2人とも so if you add とも to a counter like 2人 so here 2人 this is two people 2人とも means both of them saying it encapsulates all of this so 2人ともboth of them 16,724票でした。So we have our counter here, which is votes again. So both of them had 16,724. So 16,000, mon is 10,000. So 16,724 votes. 16,724票でした。でした in the past tense since this is something that happened in the past. So both of them in these elections had 16,724 votes.
票の数が同じになった場合はくじを引きます。
Okay. 票の数が同じになった場合は So by is a word meaning in situation or a circumstance. So this is very, it's used a lot to describe certain situations. So here, 票の数が同じになった場合. So we have the verb なる when this thing becomes, and this is the same phrase we have in our title, 票の数が同じ. So the number of votes are the same. And then this ninaru is they end up being the same, they become the same. So when these votes become the same, くじを引きます. So traditionally, くじ was like a drawing straws kind of a thing, where you had a bunch of sticks and you would have a short one and long ones, and then whoever gets the short one, that's the person who does the thing, right? So they use the verb 引く to pull, I believe, from that context. That traditionally in Japan, that's how you would select things randomly, right? You just kind of mix up those sticks. Whoever gets the short one, you're the one. So kuji, even though nowadays it can be all sorts of methods of selecting randomly, they still call it kuji o hiku. So when the number of votes is exactly the same, it's selected randomly.
これは法律で決まっています。
Alright, looks like we had a little audio bug there, but これは法律で決まっています. So 法律 is law, and this de is by means of. So this thing of this, the number of votes when they're the same, we select randomly. This random selection here is determined. So kimaru is for something to be determined, not for to determine something, but for something to be determined. So this is determined under the law. Or you can also say it is like a set rule, right? Or stipulated, you could even say, right? So like they have a law that says this must be done this way. 法律で決まっています. So this is the random selection. It is determined by law. It is set in stone. That's what you do when you have the same number of votes is you select randomly.
くじの結果、新しく選挙に出た人に決まりました。
くじの結果. So we have 結果 here, which is a result. You can attach all sorts of nouns to this or verbs as well, mostly in the past tense as a result of this thing happening. But here we have the noun くじ, which is the random selection. So as a result of the random selection, 新しく選挙に出た人. So we have a noun here being described with this. So 人 being our person. 新しく選挙に出た人. So what kind of person are we dealing with? A person who newly 選挙に出る, showed up or participated in the elections recently. So 新しく, it literally means newly, but anytime someone does something for the first time or is new to the situation, you can use 新しく. So the 新しく選挙に出た人 would be the newcomer, not the person who is the current mayor, but the new person, the person who just participated in the election. So as a result of the random selection, the newcomer, the person new to the election, was determined. So に決まりました. So if you say が決まる, that is for something to be determined. So in that case, we would say the new mayor が決まりました. But if we wanted to say who it was determined as or determined to be, we would use the particle に here. So this に決まりました, the determination was made for this to be the person who is the new mayor. So 新しく選挙に出た人に決まりました.
選挙に負けた今の市長は票を数え直してほしいと言っています。
Okay, so we have 選挙に負けた今の市長は. So this noun here is our main subject of this sentence, our topic as well. 市長 is the mayor, and 今の市長 would be the current mayor. And then the current mayor, how are we going to describe him? With 選挙に負けた. So the current mayor who lost, 負ける here in the past tense, 選挙に負けた in the elections. So the current mayor who lost in the elections, so they had the same number of votes, but the current mayor lost the draw, and he, what? 票を数え直してほしいと言っています. So we end with と言っています. This is something he is saying or has said. So what is he saying here? 票を数え直してほしい. So 票を数え直す, as we learned in the vocab, that is to recount votes. 票 votes, 数え直す to recount. This is in the 手 form connected to 欲しい. So he wants them to recount the votes. So if you want to do something, you'll put a verb in the I form. But here, when you want someone else to do a verb, you'll be the 手 form and 欲しい. So here, the current mayor who lost in the election is saying that he wants to recount the votes. So he is not taking his loss very well. So, all right, that is it for our article today. Thank you so much for being here. If you like these articles, please like and subscribe and hit that bell so you can keep up on your Japanese study every day. I have been doing this for at least 2 or 3 months now, and I have noticed that a lot of the articles were kind of getting into similar subject matter. A lot of, like, bears, natural disasters, that kind of thing. I am looking into other types of material that maybe we can do this daily video on, so we can kind of get into some new subject matter, learn some new vocab, get into some more grammar. If you're interested in that, please let me know. And if you know of anything that you might be interested in hearing more about, that would be awesome. Obviously, I like the news because it's relevant every day. It's relevant to that day. And, you know, some of you might be living in Japan, so hopefully you kind of keep up with what's going on in Japan. I still think I will never completely cut this out. I do like these easy Japanese news articles. Eventually, I might get into real Japanese articles, not these simplified versions. But for the time being, I think I'll do these and maybe another thing. Maybe do like 2 or 3 of these a week, and then 2 or 3 of something else a week, just to kind of get more subject matter and keep things a little more interesting. But let me know what you think, and I will plan on seeing you tomorrow. また明日.